What's up guys, it's Cartricket, and today I'm going to be taking a look at two of cubing's most recent innovations and seeing if they're any good and looking at where the future of cubing hardware may go. Let's get into it. Now, as you can tell from that quick B-roll, today I'm going to be talking about MagLev and core magnets. Now, quick disclaimer, I don't have any MagLev cubes, but shout out to my friend for letting me borrow his MagLev RS3M 2021. I taught him how to solve a cube as well as, well, Ting Man. And he's actually doing pretty well for just learning how to solve it, so shout out to my friend. And I have a couple cubes with core magnets. I have the GAN Pyraminx, the GAN Scube, the Cubers Home Tornado V2, the GAN 11M Pro, the GAN 251 Pro, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Now, a lot of hype was created around MagLev and core magnets, but do these cubes live up to the hype? Let's see. So first of all, what do both of these features do? Well, let's take a look. Let's start out with MagLev. Much better. So here, as you can see, we have a screw with the ring magnet under it, Moyu's dual adjustment system, and another ring magnet at the bottom. Let's take a closer look. And funny thing is, when you go to tension the puzzle, the screwdriver actually sticks to the pieces, which is cool. Alright, so here we go. So as you can see, we have the spring compression system, a screw, a magnet, and another magnet. And I can try pulling these magnets as close together as I'd like, but there's still space between them. That's because these two magnets are repelling. If we take a look at another one of Moyu's cubes, it's kind of hard to see, but under the screw, there's actually a spring. Now, the problem with springs is sometimes there's way too much friction, and there's something called spring noise. When you're turning, the cube makes this creaky sound, and it's pretty unpleasant. However, with MagLev, there's much less friction since the springs actually can't touch, and despite not actually having springs, MagLev acts as springs. However, with MagLev, there's no friction, and since there's no springs, there's no spring noise. Now, how does the system actually affect the performance of the cube? Well, we'll get into that later. Now let's talk about core magnets. Alright, now let's check out what core magnets do. There we go. So here we have the core of the GAN 11M Pro, and as you can see, we have these magnets right here. Now, for reference, here are two 2x2s. This is the GAN 251 Pro, and this is the MGC Elite. This GAN puzzle only has magnets between the core and the corners, and I'm gonna do a comparison between the sound of this cube and of the MGC Elite to see the difference between core magnets and regular magnets. Just a quick disclaimer about the MGC Elite, it also has magnets in the edges, but that shouldn't really affect the sound. Now, as you can see, when you're turning with a cube that just has core magnets, there isn't as much of a distinct click. When you're turning on any puzzle with just regular magnets like corner to edge, you really hear this distinct click. However, with this cube, there isn't as much of a distinct click, but it's still magnetic. I really like this because it doesn't have the snappiness that edge to corner attraction has, but it still feels magnetic and stable. And when you use it with something like the GAN 11M Pro, it has edge to corner magnets and it has corner core magnets, which makes it really stable and nice. Now let's get back to MagLev. Now, I'm not gonna lie, at first I didn't really notice a difference in performance. However, after doing some solves and setting this cube up, I can tell there's definitely less friction. However, since there's less friction, what comes with that is the cube is much faster. But that can be changed with some lube and adjusting the tension, as well as the spring compression. Now, after setting it up, it's a really nice speed, and I can get pretty close to my average times on this. Now, what are my opinion on these features? So starting off with core magnets, I think they're a great addition. For example, the Tornado V2, I tried the stock one when I was at the cubicle, and it was okay. But the Cubers Home one was much better in my opinion, and it was much more stable. Many cubes that are really unstable, that are magnetized with corner to edge, could be really improved if they use corner core, and I think stuff like Cubers Home adding core magnets to cubes is really cool. Now, as for MagLev, I think it can be used correctly in some scenarios, and sometimes it's not really worth it. For example, on the RS3M 2021, it makes the cube a lot faster, and the stock RS3M 2020 is already super fast, but it also reduces the friction, and it reduces the spring noise, which is really nice since that's a problem with the original RS3M. However, it does add significant weight to the cube, which isn't the best. However, GAN's new MagLev system on their GAN 12 MagLev doesn't increase the weight by much, and it's actually not too heavy. So yeah, if you're deciding between the RS3M 2020 and the 2021, I'd honestly go for the 2020, since if you add extra magnets, it's not going to be like 100 grams, and it's just not really worth the extra money for the maglev system. As for where cubing hardware is going, I don't think many companies are going to be able to implement maglev or core magnets into their puzzles, because Moyu has a copyright on their system and GAN has a copyright on core magnets. However, the Cubicle is selling maglev kits and core magnet kits, so that's really sick. And if you want to pick them up, you can get them at the Cubicle and you can save some money with code KTK. So yeah, that's pretty much going to conclude it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. The growth has been insane recently, so thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.